Take a moment to simply breathe. Feel the weight of your thoughts, the subtle hum of daily pressures. For many, that hum is an ever-present, often deafening, roar. In a world brimming with technological marvels and unprecedented convenience, a paradox plagues us. We are, it seems, more anxious than ever before. From fleeting worries about tomorrow's tasks to a deep, gnawing dread about our place in the universe, anxiety has become the defining, emotional landscape of our age. It's not just a personal struggle. It's a collective tremor running through the fabric of modern society. This isn't merely a clinical phenomenon. It's a profound philosophical challenge. Why, despite our progress, do we feel so overwhelmed? Is there a deeper, existential component to this widespread unease? And more importantly, how can we navigate this anxious mind, finding meaning and resilience amidst the relentless currents of modern stress? Let's begin by acknowledging the obvious. The modern world is a crucible of stressors. We are perpetually connected, constantly bombarded by information, and relentlessly exposed to curated versions of other people's perfect lives. Consider the sheer volume of data we consume daily. Our brains, evolved for hunter-gatherer environments, are now asked to process an unfathomable amount of stimuli. News cycles that never sleep, social media feeds demanding our attention, endless notifications. This constant deluge creates a state of perpetual alertness, preventing our minds from finding genuine rest and clarity. Then there's the relentless pressure to perform, to achieve, to be happy and productive. Capitalism, with its emphasis on continuous growth and optimization, seeps into our personal lives. We internalize the message that, if we're not constantly striving, we're falling behind. Social media, in particular, becomes a stage where we compare our messy realities to others' highlight reels, breeding feelings of inadequacy, envy, and an inescapable fear of missing out, FOMO. Economically, instability casts a long shadow. The rapid pace of technological change, including the rise of AI we discussed, creates job insecurity and a sense of an uncertain future. Environmental crises, global pandemics, and political polarization add layers of collective anxiety, reminding us of our fragility and the limits of our control. These external pressures alone are enough to overwhelm. But beneath the surface of this daily grind lies an even deeper, more ancient form of unease, existential anxiety. While clinical anxiety is a diagnosable condition requiring professional help, philosophy offers a lens to understand the more universal, often subconscious, angst that underpins much of human experience. This is what existential philosophers explored centuries before our digital age. Kierkegaard, co-father of existentialism, wrote extensively about the concept of anxiety or dread angst. For Kierkegaard, this anxiety isn't about fear of a specific object, but a deep, pervasive feeling linked to freedom and possibility. It's the dizziness of freedom, the terror of realizing we have infinite choices. And, with each choice, immense responsibility. Before a choice, anything is possible, and that terrifying openness can be paralyzing. It's the weight of creating ourselves in every moment. Martin Heidegger nader this, speelt being towards death sein zum Tod. For Heidegger, authentic existence involves confronting our own finitude, the fact that we will die. This confrontation brings forth a profound anxiety, but also an opportunity to live more authentically, recognizing the preciousness and limits of our time. To deny this anxiety, to lose ourselves in the they-self-das-man of societal norms, is to live inauthentically. Albert Camus, in his philosophy of the absurd, articulated anxiety stemming from the clash between humanity's inherent desire for meaning and a seemingly indifferent, meaningless universe. We crave purpose, order, and reason, but the universe often offers none. This confrontation generates a profound sense of anxiety of being an outsider in a world that makes no sense. These philosophers weren't describing panic attacks, but a fundamental human condition, the raw, unsettling awareness of our own freedom, finitude, and the ultimate lack of inherent meaning in the cosmos. In our modern world, these profound philosophical anxieties are amplified by the relentless external pressures, creating a perfect storm for the anxious mind. Connecting this philosophical dread to our modern predicament, we find ourselves in a pervasive crisis of meaning. If our traditional sources of purpose like faith, stable community roles, or clear career paths have eroded, where do we find our anchoring points? Consumerism promises happiness through acquisition, but rarely delivers lasting fulfillment. Instant gratification, easily accessible via our digital devices, offers fleeting pleasures that often leave us feeling emptier than before. We chase external metrics of success, likes, followers, financial targets, hoping they will somehow fill an internal void, only to find the anxiety persisting. Viktor Frankl, a neurologist who survived the Holocaust, developed logotherapy, a therapeutic approach centered on the idea that humanity's primary motivational force is a will to meaning. He observed that even in the most horrific circumstances, those who found meaning in helping others, in a future goal, in an unchangeable fate, were more likely to survive and thrive. Frankl's work starkly contrasts with a world that often prioritizes pleasure or power over purpose. If we are constantly distracted, constantly striving for externally defined successes, we might never stop to ask the deeper questions about what truly gives our lives meaning. And in that void, anxiety flourishes. We are left asking, what am I doing all this for? What is the point of it all? The constant shoulds and oughts of modern society. You should be happier. You should be more productive. You should be wealthier. You should have better relationships. Create an unbearable pressure that often masks our authentic desires and values. When we lose touch with what truly matters to us, our actions become disconnected, and anxiety becomes a constant companion. The good news is that philosophy offers not just explanations for our anxiety, but also powerful tools for managing it and finding meaning. One of the most potent is Stoicism. Philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius taught us to focus on the dichotomy of control, distinguish between what is within our power and what is not. Our thoughts, judgments, and reactions are within our control. External events, other people's opinions, and the past, future are not. Anxiety often stems from trying to control the uncontrollable. By accepting what we cannot change and focusing our energy on our internal responses, we can cultivate inner peace. Stoicism teaches us resilience, how to respond to adversity with virtue, and how to find tranquility amidst chaos. Another powerful approach is mindfulness, deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy. Mindfulness encourages us to be fully present in the moment, observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment. Instead of getting caught in the endless loop of anxious rumination about the past or future, mindfulness brings us back to the here and now. It teaches us about the impermanence of all things, including our anxieties, and that suffering often arises not from the event itself, but from our attachment to it. By cultivating present, moment awareness, we can create a space between the stimulus and our reaction, allowing us to respond with greater calm and clarity. Existentialism, revisited, also offers a path. Instead of being paralyzed by the dizziness of freedom, we can embrace our responsibility to create meaning. If the universe is indifferent, then we are the meaning makers. This means choosing our values, committing to our projects, and living authentically, even in the face of the absurd. Camus suggested we must imagine Sisyphus perpetually rolling his boulder up a hill, as happy, finding defiance and meaning in the struggle itself, rather than in an external outcome. Part found etiqueted. Finally, the importance of community and genuine connection cannot be overstated. Aristotle's concept of eudaimonia, often translated as human flourishing or living well, emphasized that a meaningful life is lived in community through cultivating virtues and contributing to the common good. In an age of digital isolation, re-engaging with real human connection, fostering empathy, and building supportive communities can be a powerful antidote to anxiety and a profound source of meaning. The anxious mind is not a sign of weakness. It's often a signal. It tells us that something is out of balance, that we are grappling with fundamental questions about our existence, our freedom, and our purpose. The challenge is not to eliminate anxiety. Understand, Leon Fromit and Intrometer Catalyst for Growth Mang. The epical mind is one that doesn't shy away from these uncomfortable questions. It is a mind that courageously confronts its anxieties, not by ignoring them, but by engaging with them through the wisdom of philosophy. It seeks to define its own meaning, to choose its own path, and to find serenity not by controlling the world, but by mastering its internal landscape. In a world overwhelmed by stress, finding meaning is not a luxury, it is our most vital task. It is the compass that guides us through the fog of confusion, offering direction when we feel lost. So, as you reflect on your own anxious moments, what is within your control and what is not? Where are you genuinely finding meaning, and where are you seeking only distraction? How can you cultivate more presence, more connection, and more authentic choice in your daily life? The journey of the anxious mind is a deeply human one. It is a journey towards self-awareness, resilience, and the profound, enduring power of meaning.